The amount of content NMIXX releases along with their music is genuinely amazing. Each release has multiple trailers, multiple concept films, and now musical pre-releases have started to be thrown into the mix as well. There's also a series of 30-minute variety show episodes that adapts their own lore, and even more beyond that. Compared to other groups, NMIXX takes quite a while between comebacks, but the level of quality we get in return for these longer hiatus periods is well worth it, in my opinion. The commitment that goes into creating an era around each music release for NMIXX should be the standard in the industry. FE304 Forward is what putting a budget into a group, believing in a group, and importantly, what believing in a musical project truly looks like. Each album release feels like an event. These additional materials that come along with the music are insanely well produced with clear budgets and visions. We don't get a song like High Horse as a pre-release for no reason. It feels like this is a song that NMIXX and their team really believes in. High Horse as a song works to outline how increasingly well NMIXX is able to blend their vocals together and bridge that gap between a performance-focused group who also exists to push the limits of pop music. The balance of and then blending between a simple piano refrain and soft rock instrumental drum breaks, and how that develops throughout the whole song brings its own dynamic, in addition to helping NMIXX themselves showcase their impressive vocal ranges. I'm kind of freaking out about all of this whole album. NMIXX continues to raise their own standards, develop their identity as something unique, all the while really honoring the artistic risks they take by researching it well and putting a substantial budget behind it. I want to emphasize the production levels that go into each NMIXX release. There is so much value in the work that goes into distinguishing projects from one another, fully fleshing out concept work via what we see in the trailers, the music videos, the album covers, and so on. They're truly in a league of their own at this point, and I guess to use this as a segue to talk about the album in general, thinking about High Horse and the title track Know About Me, these music styles are very sophisticated, kind of an unlikely pairing for K-pop, but they managed to make it work. Know About Me in particular revisits the R&B focused side to their identity and synthesizes that with the laid-back style K-pop releases have been almost universally heading towards recently. I think most all of the more recent major groups in K-pop have come back with a very tame sound and style compared to other tracks in their discography. We're existing right now in a very mellow, introspective, and fragile moment in pop culture. Know About Me takes a similar, easygoing approach to what's going on in the industry, refraining from any kind of explosive change-up sections this time to instead deliver a single-minded musical project in likeness to a song like Love Me Like This. I know there's a sizable amount of people who feel a bit disoriented without those striking MIXXPOP sections, especially coming off the heels of Dash and See That, but I really think there's so much value in these types of releases that kind of pull back and place the members' talents and versatility closer to the forefront of the package. NMIXX is not just one thing. I think for a group with a vision as colossal as theirs, there's a great benefit in subverting expectations, always trying something new and entertaining trends in the industry, but with serious commitment to transforming it in contexts that match the group identity. This is exactly what High Horse and Know About Me do, in my opinion. You can glean that their production is likely reflective of the softcore trends in pop culture right now, but a lot of intentionality goes into these songs, continuing the NMIXX identity in unexpected ways. High Horse's tendency to always switch to another section, adding a new synth or progression that comes with a new verse is more clearly indicative of this group's style, but Know About Me also makes efforts via its emphasis on showcasing the group's vocal dynamic and, of course, the escalation into the dance break section in the bridge. It also continues NMIXX's lore while still having real-world narrative connections, a kind of double-edged meaning that ties to NMIXX's fantasy lore but also has commercially accessible connotations to it. Know About Me lyrically is a song about diving into the unknown with someone, exploring a new chapter, and embracing change without any sense of fear. Narratively in this group's lore, the FE304 series has been documenting the final moments before a big change in their story that's about to happen. The ship rising from the ocean in the music video seems to infer that our next stop will be the journey to MIXXtopia or actually arriving to MIXXtopia itself. So Know About Me can be the final call to action to those who want to come along with NMIXX on their journey, encouraging them to dive towards the ocean-like world without fear. These songs focus on lower-end frequencies and synths, especially at the beginning, musically inspires such a sense of depth that evokes a feeling of being in an ocean. We also get the modulated delay instrumental in the chorus, the emphasis on reverb that pulls together a sense of waves or ripples in a body of water.
Let me show you that know about me. That's that show you that know about me.
This song sounds very deep, abyssal, and aquatic all around, like a journey of ocean exploration, which is where NMIXX is currently at in terms of their own lore. The sonics match the album concept insanely well. Again, this is yet another aspect to NMIXX's identity that makes them such an incredibly strong group all around. The lore of the 6 girls from the world called Field on a journey to find MIXXTOPIA and to stop the dominion of Monopole has been underway this entire time. Every release since their debut has gone to great lengths to develop the group's narrative and world building. That's why we see so many dedicated concept trailers that go into each release. High Horse and Know About Me are 2 of the more commercially friendly singles we've seen from this group, and yet we find the rest of the album goes almost immediately into exploring the core of the NMIXX sound. Slingshot, the 3rd track on the album after the singles, distorts its own elastic instrumental and drops everything for a change-up section in the final quarter of the song. It works to express the more quirky aspect to this group as they compare themselves to a slingshot, and even the name of the song has a text-based visual of a star being flung from a less than simple slingshot. The instrumental is very video game-esque. The chorus especially reminds me of Pantomime by Ujusanya. The next track, Golden Recipe, is produced by Demjoints and makes effective use of a shouted vocal sample that is imitated by an orchestral string sample in the chorus. It sounds weird on paper, and is weird, but it's Demjoints and NMIXX, so it does work in the end. The next song, Papillon, is genuinely unlike anything I've ever heard from K-pop. I don't know that I can fully express what this song feels like in terms of concept. The refrain sections use a voice coder in a similar style to Emojin Heap. And the song itself is the musical moment of the album where we take flight and make our way towards the ocean-like world. And as a consequence, we get the final track titled Ocean, and even then, the more ballad-esque approach this song takes still features a kind of change-up section of its own in the form of its second verse. In this way, and looking at the album as a whole, I think the 2 singles from FE304 forward do great work of expanding NMIXX's identity while also being friendly enough to the general public to hopefully get more people on board for the NMIXX concept, maybe allowing them to approach the rest of their discography with more open minds. I think NMIXX really can't lose when it comes to trying new things and showcasing their versatility as a group, both vocally and in terms of performance. The sub-label division squad under JYP that works for NMIXX really is putting in the work. NMIXX's rise has been slow and steady, but the level of dedication to developing this group's image these past 3 years is building up to something bigger and greater each and every time. FE304 Forward feels like such a capstone moment for the group, a short but full scope range of NMIXX's explore dynamic, and yet also forms a very nice launching pad as to where they could go musically in the future. Songs like Papillon open up a world of possibility for this group and definitely makes me eager to see what's next and happy that I'm along for the ride. I will certainly be boarding the flying ship on the way to MIXXTOPIA. I have my own impetus in hand ready to make the journey. I really love NMIXX, and this album is such a solid reminder of what makes them so valuable in the industry today. NMIXX has it. They have what people are looking for, what the larger K-pop community has been vocally expressing a desire for, and I hope the more commercially friendly approach to the singles of this album gets more people on board for the greatness that is and is to come. Yeah, honestly, this album hasn't been out for 24 hours, but maybe in competition for my favorite NMIXX album to date. I love every single song on first impression. Maybe that's just because NMIXX has done a great job at opening my mind to their potential, but I immediately see division here. Once again, I am aboard the trans-dimensional ship, ready to journey to MIXXTOPIA, and I guess my question to you is, are you aboard this ship? How do you feel about this album? The presentation, especially the laid-back nature of the 2 singles. Do you think this would make for a good capstone to the FE304 series, or are you hoping for more installments and so on? Yeah, I think that's all for me. My favorites from the album right now are High Horse, Slingshot, Papillon, Know About Me, basically the entire album. I like every song on this album, but I think High Horse and Slingshot and Papillon are my top 3. I really like those songs. But yeah, definitely let me know what you think. Thank you for watching this. If you did, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time.